Hey everyone, welcome back to TOPHER Drives, where today you're getting my raw first impressions on this Verde Gea Lamborghini Huracán Sterrato. If you're unfamiliar with the Sterrato, it is a lifted version and sort of a farewell to the Lamborghini Huracán. This is powered by a 5.2 liter naturally aspirated V10. We've got 600 horsepower and just over 410 pound-feet of torque. We're on some Bridgestone Dueler all-terrain tires. This has just over 6.5 inches of ground clearance, and it's kind of a go anywhere, do anything supercar. You all would have seen my drive in the Huracán STO, which is kind of like the opposite of this car because it's like the low-slung insane race car that looks like a Forza race car without the livery. And this is of course the off-road oriented version, which means we get an roof rack on your Lamborghini. Check that out. Never thought I would see the day. We've got these tiny little roof rails which have Sterrato badges on them. We've also got Sterrato on our actual roof rack itself. We have these little rally lights down here mounted to the front bumper, and I think in this particular color with the black wheels with the matching green interior. Overall, this is just an epic spec. Alcantara everywhere. It's just fantastic. So we're gonna hop in this thing, we're gonna go for a drive, and you guys will get some of my raw first impressions. It's been a minute since I've driven a Lamborghini, so we're gonna relearn together, and we'll try and have some fun. We've got a little bit of a drive to a little bit of a twistier road, so we can see what this thing is like around town before we go and hit some back roads. I've heard from the other two guys that it's a little bit sketchy on these all-terrain tires, which makes sense because it's a Lamborghini, it's got over 600 horsepower, and it's pushing all of that through some all-terrains. We have a 7-speed transmission in this car, and it is all-wheel drive. Look at those dual exhaust tips. You can see our firing order of that V10 back there, very cool. Let's hop in and start it up. Try to be respectful of the door sill. Now in the STO that I drove, I could never get this infotainment screen to work properly. But I'm not going to worry about that today. I'm just going to run the navigation screen and we'll be good. This is a very fresh Lamborghini Huracán Sterrato, only 112 miles on the odometer. Look at this interior. We have a fire extinguisher, we've got a number of cameras, we have a dash cam and also one to record you from behind. You can see exactly nothing out of the rear view mirror, but that's okay because the side view mirrors are large and they do show you most of what you need to see. We've got manual adjustments for our seats in this car, similar to the STO. And we've got 3 drive modes: Strada, Sport, and Rally. We will probably stay in Sport for most of our drive today, just so we can hear that V10. And let's just go have fun. You know, in rare form, I don't know a ton about any of these cars today. We've just kind of gotten in them, gone for a drive, and you all are able to see that from our point of view. So let's put this thing into drive and go have some fun. To get into drive, you just grab the right paddle, put you into first gear. If you'd rather be in automatic mode, you can press the M, and that'll switch you back and forth from manual to auto. We'll go ahead and we'll leave these windows down for a second. Why am I even bothering adjusting the rear view mirror? Just to look at myself. Okay, here we go. Forgot the window switches are always inverted on Lamborghinis. There's not really anywhere to put my left foot. Oh, and the turn signals are on the steering wheel. We won't worry about it right now because there's nobody coming. Got to put myself back into Lamborghini mode here. I don't know that I've ever driven a car with an Alcantara steering wheel that only has 100 miles on it. This feels very fresh. Okay. Getting reacquainted here. And also, got to go over something that, and that as well, wow. The drive route today is giving me plenty of opportunities to show off the 6.7 inches of ground clearance we have here in the Sterrato. I will say these Huracans do really come naturally. Being such a mass-produced car, there are a lot of SoundCloud rappers that own Huracans. So they have to be fairly straightforward, of course. There's this flap that opens up around 4,000 RPM, and it is just the most glorious thing. Apart from the pedal box being a little bit cramped, from a daily driving perspective, it seems to be pretty good. Even the seats, very supportive. I've got great shoulder bolster, and the ride, as you could imagine, is quite nice. Got a little bit of body roll here. That's all right. That's the point of this thing. The funny thing about this is I've spent all morning in a Bentley and an Aston Martin, and both incredibly fast cars. I mean, just you wouldn't expect it, to the point where I'm flooring this now, and you know, I haven't gotten on it fully yet, but it doesn't feel as insane as Lamborghinis usually do. Okay, no, that everything I just said, I didn't mean it. Didn't mean it. Let's get a feel for this here. Oh man, the turn-in is a little sketchy on these all-terrains. Yeah, this is weird because generally when you're in a Lamborghini, everything is immediate. Everything is sort of telepathic, and it kind of isn't in this car, and that almost adds a cool factor, a little bit of old-time rock and roll to this Sterrato. I like that. I guess what I'm saying is it might be just that much better because it's a little bit worse. Time time to play How Much Trust Do I Have in These Bridgestone Duelers? And the answer is, I don't know. Amount of body roll here, but it is in a way usable, I would say. It doesn't feel like unsafe body roll, but it's weird in a Lamborghini. Squirmy under braking. Okay. A lot of wind noise from that roof rack. A little bit of rough terrain there, no worries. Okay. Genuinely terrifying under hard braking. Corolla, nice. And a Tesla on dubs or something. What was that? Can we keep up with Tedward in a Bentley? I don't know. Lamborghinis are just really, truly anything else. This man doing nature photography. Bit of ambient noise for him. Traffic. Oh, yes, Strata mode, back into automatic, and relax. Okay, well, let's debrief here for a second. This car is, I would say, even more insane than the STO because it's less predictable, and I think that's excellent. I'm starting to understand this whole safari version of supercars trend. Thank you. And I think it's the peril. I think as humans we like to have a little bit of a challenge with things, and this Sterrato does provide you with a bit of a challenge when you're up in this sort of environment, but then it provides you with less of a challenge when you're driving around and you need to go up you need to go up driveways and speed bumps and you need to park and things. It's less of a hassle there. So it's almost like this makes a lot of sense as a car. I'm understanding it now. So that's a really cool thing. And I love an Alcantara steering wheel because it soaks up all the sweat from my hands. So all of the future YouTubers that get this car will be touching my personalized, sweaty Alcantara steering wheel. So they're welcome for that. So how about fatigue? Well, I've been sitting in this thing now for about 30 minutes, and I'm fine. I know 30 minutes isn't that big of a gauge, but believe it or not, the seats in that blue Aston Martin up there are like sitting on a church pew. So actually getting into this, I am a little bit more comfortable. And it's so quiet also, minus the roof rack, of course, and the all-season tires. But the engine is able to just get down to like a whisper level when you're in Strata. The Huracan really does make sense as a starter supercar or just a really nice, enjoyable weekend car. And, you know, this is in all trims, whether you go for Performante or an STO or a Technica or a Sterrato. I mean, in any form, it is just a wonderful piece of engineering, and this is the end. This is it. The Sterrato is the swan song, and it's sad. I'm grateful I've gotten to drive a few of these cars, but we now get to look forward to the Rivielto, I think is how you say it, and then I'm sure there will be some sort of hybridized V8 thing that replaces the Huracan, or maybe they'll do a hybridized V10. That would be cool as well, but it won't be as raw and visceral as this is. What a machine. I guess a good way to sum this car up would be that it takes out a lot of the bad, petty, silly stresses that come along with Lamborghini ownership, and it kind of adds some good and exciting stress to your drive up in the canyons or your drive on the off-road trail or whatever it is. I think this thing makes sense. I think it makes a whole lot of sense. So what about when you get back down to the real world? You're back into some traffic and life resumes as normal. Well, in Strata mode, in automatic, letting this Lamborghini Huracán Sterrato just kind of do its own thing, it does a pretty good job. The automatic tuning on this gearbox is not the best thing in the world. Sometimes you've got a little bit of a rough start, you know, from your 1 to 2 to 3. And it really likes to put you in top gear. I mean, I'm in 7th, there you go, 7th gear going 34 miles per hour. So it's trying to conserve, of course, and be economical. Sometimes, in fact, it'll shut down to just 5 cylinders. So it's basically a Volvo at that point. But jokes aside, it is pothole. I don't really need to be avoiding a pothole, do I? No. Jokes aside, it makes so much sense in the real world to have a car like this. I mean, even out in California, all of us Northerners think that the roads here are perfect, but the truth is they aren't. I mean, there are imperfections, and this will just go through them. Oh. See, if I were in a regular Lamborghini, I would be freaking out right now and I'd be cringing. But in this, it doesn't matter. My heart did skip a beat, but then I had to remind myself I'm in the go-anywhere Lamborghini, so it's fine. It almost feels wrong driving this car in Strata mode. What's rally mode like? Let's try that out. We're in the real world now. I imagine that's just race mode. It makes everything red, which is cool. What's the point of driving a Lamborghini if you're not making noise? Obviously, hold on. Obviously, merging is no problem with a car like this. And actually, I would say you're more visible to NPCs because you stick up higher. Let's actually shut it down for a second. Let's go Strata. Let's go into 7th gear and give you guys a sec to observe our NVH here. Honestly, a lot of that noise that you get in this thing is from that roof rack, but it's so cool. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the roof rack. The problem I would have is I would just be playing this all day like an instrument. These cars are just such a symphony. Let's try out our cruise control. How about that? I don't think I've ever used cruise control in a Lamborghini. There we go. We're cruising. Oh, and I'm should be over here. I'm trying to follow Charlie right now, and he's trying to make me have an accident. Good torque here in 7th gear at 3,000 RPM. Doing the thing. Wow, it's loud in here. It is. I mean, overall highway manners pretty dang nice from a driving standpoint. From a hearing standpoint, not so much, but we'll gloss over that. Let's be polite and let's wrap up this video here on the Lamborghini Huracán Sterrato. What a thing, and what a treat to be able to take you all along with me for my first impressions drive here on this absolutely wild supercar. I mean, who would have thought that lifting this thing, putting all-terrain tires on it, and just doing the thing with this Lamborghini would make it just such an absolute riot and unpredictable little bugger. Nice backup camera. I really do like that display.
That's the biggest surprise to me, is just it's such a well-married blend of athleticism and
Cool.
luxury.
All right. Well,
Neither one
they're
sounds
talking about cars. I'm going to end my video. Thank you guys all for watching. This thing is just something else, unlike anything I've ever driven. I hope you enjoyed watching me take my maiden voyage here in the Huracan, and that will just about wrap it up for us today. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the Sterrato or any of the 3 cars we have here today, and I'll do my best to answer them. But that'll wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching again. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.